What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Collider interview studio at the Campari Cinema Center at TIFF 2025. I'm overjoyed to be sitting with the team behind Hedda. Congratulations to everyone. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
What a refreshing adaptation of something that has been adapted for time and time again, many, many years. So I'm going to start focusing on that a little bit. Can you tell me something about the source material, maybe a previous rendition that you knew still held true to this day, but then also a specific way you wanted to evolve your version for modern audiences?
Yeah, for sure. Hi, Perry.
Hi.
First of all, hello. I just love the play so much, and I love the central character who feels so modern, but she was written in 1880 in Norway. So that through line, every single production I've seen, even if I didn't love the production, the Hedda is always magnetic and amazing. And I think every theater director or whoever's adapting it into English again, like they always find a new prism of her to show. And so with my adaptation, I really just wanted to really shine a very specific light through a very specific prism, and that's how we got these guys together to run around stately home.
I was reading that initially when you thought of adapting the source material, you pictured your version being a play, and it was just making me curious. Do you remember the specific thing that crossed your mind that made you think, like, no, the way I want to explore the themes and ideas in my version better suit the film medium?
Oh, well, I think I was just like, it's a play. Should I do a play? And then I was like, no. I wanted it to be cinema. And I wanted, with Hedda, I'm like, when you read the writing of it, it's very big. It's very much like, I'm bored and I'm unhappy and I just want to control everyone. In film, you can have a close-up. And I really wanted the close-up. And
so much wonderful craftsmanship. I wish I had time to highlight all your department heads.
They're amazing.
I'll shout out everyone eventually, but man, Hildred, that score.
Yeah.
That score is something else. Tess, I'm going to come your way now because Hedda's a character that is very well known for turning on a dime and maybe not even fully understanding why she's doing the things that she's doing. So I was curious, did you have to come up with like an anchor of sorts for the character, something that no matter what big swing she takes, it's always based in some sort of consistent truth for yourself?
Yeah, I think so. I think the same is true probably for any character, but I think
Josh Gad ruining the interview.
Is Josh Gad ruining the interview? That's it. I will ruin him. Hi, Josh Gad. Josh. Hi.
Hi, sorry about that.
Don't worry. Anything for you.
Whatever this is.
Anything for you. What was
consistent truth.
Consistent truth. Yes, I think consistent truth is always important, and I also think that, as you said, I think sometimes the things that she does are a mystery to herself. This idea. This is not a spoiler because it's in the trailer of saying sometimes I can't help myself. The truth is, I think she acts on base instincts that many of us have. And would never dare to. The sort of paradox of Hedda in some ways is she has a kind of bravery to do that, but the sort of most fundamental thing she's too cowardly to do, which is to really live in her honest truth. And I think that paradox is endlessly fascinating.
Mm-hmm. And kind of demands adaptation after adaptation. Like,
yeah,
I can't
you can take it apart and put it back together. In your Hedda, you sang, right?
It's true. Yeah. Hedda had a little band.
I am so curious about that experience from your perspective, what it's like. Obviously, it's a very different version of the story, but like you've played Hedda and now you're playing opposite Hedda. I guess, what was that like for you? How did doing both inform your own character in this movie, but also maybe how you viewed Tessa's Hedda?
Yeah, I was just so fascinated by the idea that Eileen Lövborg, because in the play my character is a man, becomes a woman, because it changes everything, all the relationships with all of them here. It made everything so much more exciting to me. I was like, why didn't anyone think of this before, And Nia came up with this idea, and I was like, of course, that is so much more interesting between those two and between the three of them, between the two men and her, and also it does something to their relationship, and so it all gets charged up, and that was so fascinating for me to see. And then I must say, Hedda is just the best character ever, because you will never understand this woman. And it's fascinating, and it stays fascinating. And that's my downfall as Eileen, because I think I got her down, but I don't. I don't see where this is going. But it's just a crazy ride. It's beautiful.
On my ladies' night show, I always ask everyone to start for like a character, a performance, whatever that inspired them. And I can't believe how many people have come on that show and specifically named Hedda as the character that electrified them, and just name dropping all different interpretations of the character. It just speaks to why it's so special. Tessa, I'll go back to you and I'll lean into that a little, because I had read somewhere that you basically tried to watch every movie, every stage version of this you possibly could. And I don't want you to pick a favorite Hedda, but I am curious. Is there one that I guess weighed on your mind more than you initially thought while you were working on this movie?
I found them all interesting. To Nina's point, I think she's an endlessly fascinating character, and I think that's the great joy of playing any of these classics, is you're a part of a tradition. I sadly could not see Nina's one. I reckon that probably would have been my favorite, but but there are many that I loved. Fiona Shaw, who I had the great chance to meet because I had watched her and told Nia how much I love her performance, and then they happened to see each other, and she met Fiona and was like,
netball with Fiona.
Yeah, she was out one night and met her, and then she said, "Oh, Tessa, we're making Hedda," and Fiona's like, "Does she want to have coffee?" And I was like, "Yeah." So we sat and had coffee and just talked about Hedda. I will continue to watch any time that this woman is played, and I think what's really remarkable about what Nia's done with this adaptation is, of course, it's there's so much about this central character, but really she wanted to explore these three different pathways to agency in these three very, very different women. And so in that way, I feel like my Hedda, like your portrayal of Eileen and yours of Thea or Thea, depending on how you choose to say her name, is also a part of Hedda. For me, like the movie is about this woman, but really it's about grasping to find personhood inside of a place that doesn't kind of want you to find it, that isn't designed for you to find it. And they have three very different ways. So in that way, it's like we're kind of all in our Hedda to me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen a similar thread in a lot of versions of this play also, which I really appreciate. Bringing up the dynamic between all three of you, I am curious with your character, because these two just, now I'm afraid to say the name.
Thea.
These two are like big, they take up so much space, and then Thea is small but also so powerful. I guess, what is it like commanding space as a quieter force among these two, but like making sure we never lose her? Because there's also parts of the movie where like you weren't front and center in a frame, but I always saw you
just waffling around in the background.
It made sense, and I thought it spoke to her quiet power. Yes. So I guess my question is, how do you make sure that comes through?
I think it's really interesting, like, we're talking about the three women and their dynamics together and sort of what you're reacting to and what is brought out of you. And there's just such an authenticity to Thea. As Tess was saying, the paradox of sort of being too cowardly to act on your impulses. But Thea actually does that, despite the fact that she's kind of a shrinking violet and she's unsure of herself. She's done something extraordinary by changing her life and saving her own life. And that agency is really, really impressive. And perhaps it's not, the broadest character or personality, but there's something very steely in that. And she's a witness. I think she knows what's happening. She knows she's being manipulated at a certain point. So it's a very interesting character to play fused with these two. And I think that's the beauty of the writing and the characterization, is how they all connect to one another, what they bring out of one another. And that's what made it so exciting to play. Yeah.
One of many reasons it's so exciting to watch too. Tom, I'll come your way now. This is just something I was thinking about. I'm not sure if you actually put in this kind of backstory work, but for your version of your character, did you consider what he might have been like before meeting Hedda, and then how that would inform the version of him we see in the movie alongside her?
Yeah, 100%. And I knew the play very, very well. And when I was sent it, Nia's version, I thought, oh, I know this play. And then I read Nia's and went, no, I don't know what she's done with it. She's just sort of pulled it all apart, made everything so new and so fresh. So in as much as the backstory from the play that I understood, it was kind of piecing things together through rehearsals and discussions with everyone. But I was just fascinated by this man who, at this stage, 1950s, he's been sort of brought up to believe that women are less important, they have less sort of social status and everything, but to this incredibly powerful woman that he somehow, this pathetic man, thinks that he's more powerful than, and then also just hugely what it does to him that Eilert Lövborg is now, Eileen Lövborg is this woman, what that does to his whole sort of footing in the world. You go, hang on, everything I believe about the world is completely upended halfway through this movie by this incredible woman who turns up and has this manuscript. So he's constantly being challenged throughout this piece, and what he thinks the world should be like and what he wants it to be like, it is not. Poor George. Poor George.
All these big personalities with high priorities and goals coming together and like butting heads. It's just explosive. And we have one more to hit. Nicholas, for you with Brack, one thing that I was curious to ask you about is I just love the dynamic between him and Hedda, where I can always tell that he respects how she plays the game, but he wants to win it himself. So can you tell me a little bit about figuring out how to sell that dynamic when you're working with Tessa here?
Yeah, I mean, I think Brack and Hedda are very similar in a way, and he's bored, so he plays chess with these two people, and he's kind of maneuvering his way manipulatively around all of the people in the room. And you know, this power dynamic that they have, it's a push, it's a pull, it's a push, it's a pull. Ultimately, he gets so frustrated because he cannot get past a more complex person in the room than himself. And so he that's when he ultimately can't hold it together, and he loses his shit with her. Because he cannot win. No matter what he does, no matter how much control he has in so many other areas, even with George and all the players in the room around him, because, you know, ordinarily in his world, he is the judge. He has agency and autonomy over a lot of people in the room, and he commands respect. He doesn't get that with Hedda at all. So it's a really, really difficult dynamic between the two of them. And when we were playing it, it was just such a lovely dance. I think for me, I don't know how it was for you, Tessa.
Oh, it was great.
But it was a lovely dance of how can we shift, you know, our feet to actually who's leading here, who's leading, you know, which one of us is really taking the power, and it's, you know, it's all testament to Nia's writing on the page, and it was just such a pleasure to figure out.
Breaks my heart to have to wind this down, because here's a short conversation does not do your movie justice. I do have to end with one particular thing that we're doing with every interview. So this year at the Collider Interview Studio, we're passing notes, like as we did in school, from movie to movie. So you all received a note from the Killing Castro crew.
Okay.
They gave you like a little bit of a dare. Whoever wants to read it and try it, you're more than welcome to. And then you're going to pass a note to our next movie, which is Good Boy.
Oh, yes. Can I give it to the dog?
You can write that note as they figure that out.
You say it so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Whoever is reading this has to sing Guantanamera. What is the... Why couldn't I say it properly? It's the wrong line. It's the wrong line for the job.
Yo soy un hombre sincero. No, you take that part. Wow, vocals.
Oh, this made me so happy.
That was really good.
All right, so Nia's taking the lead on sending Good Boy a note.
Oh, okay, love that.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's from everyone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Zero going handwriting. You said it.
I'm so excited to see what that is. I do have to let you all go so you can continue celebrating your movie. Again.
Thank you so much.
Yes, please. Huge
Thanks,
congratulations on Hedda.
Thank you.
I cannot wait to
Thank you.
rewatch it, and I can't wait for the world to see it. Enjoy celebrating it, Tiff.
Thank you
so
Thank you
much.
very
so
much.
much.